So this is my builder's call, and I've got a ton of stuff on my mind. Um, in fact, the meeting that we had with Connor's team the other night was really sort of a kind of a foreshadowing of things to come with how we're building our team and how we're really making a commitment to drive depth and get lists of names and help help our people grow. And you know, it's funny how sometimes when people come on this call, I get a lot of like people that aren't doing anything. They want to come on this call, but they don't do anything. Like I'm thinking, well, why are they wasting my time and their time? You know, if they're not going to do anything, if they're not going to show the opportunity to other people, just to me doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So, that's part of the reason why I said on the thing, you know, if your feelings get too hurt easily, don't come. And it was really more filtering out people, right? So I'm not going to try to hurt anybody's feelings. It was just more of a test to kind of get rid of certain people and really kind of speak to the whole idea of building and why you want to do it. We we talked at the event about I forgot who talked about it. I think Levin Tovich. And I've talked about this all the time, that building a business is insurance on your income. In fact, I was talking to a new recruit. In fact, this couple days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, and or actually a new agent. I was getting new agents started and was encouraging them to put a list of names together so I can help them build their team. And I told them that the ability to grow a business will give you choices that you don't know that you have, choices that you'd be confronted with in the future. And you're going to thank God that you built the business before you needed it. Like, I'll give an example. I actually gave him this example. Like, little did I know 24 years ago that I was able to build a business where when Jeannie got diagnosed with breast cancer, I was able to be with her 100%. Didn't have to ask a boss off from work. I didn't have to, and we still had money coming in, right? Jeannie's going through cancer. She had double mastectomy, go through chemo. So I had the choice to be able to support Jeannie and everything, had the income. My income didn't change. My income actually went up while she was going through cancer. Went to every chemotherapy infusion that she had. She had 6 rounds. We went through the losing of hair. That's when I shaved my head. I went through all that. And then a year later, we did the breast reconstruction, and I was with her for that. So, everyone would love to have choices. They think about the choice of being free to do anything you want to do and having the money to do it, right? And it's just a concept, but you have no idea. Like when my daughter contracted HSP and she was in the hospital with it's a rare autoimmune. We didn't care about asking off from work. We didn't care about any of that stuff. We were with her, right? Choices. It's choices that you're going to have that you didn't know that you were going to have to make in the future. That's what building a business is about. Yeah, you're all enamored by stupid ass rings, right? And you're all enamored by the money, enamored with all that BS, because it is BS. All that extraneous stuff. What people don't think about is, what if my wife contracts breast cancer, but I still have to be in the field, because if I'm not in the field, I'm not making money. What if my daughter contracted a rare autoimmune disease and she's in the hospital for 3 weeks, and I can't be with her 100% because I still got to make money. See, you don't think about those things. You think about, oh man, I'd love to get recognized on stage. I'd love to get a ring. I'd love to do all this stuff. You get enamored by all the recognition. What you don't understand is that what you're building a business for is to give you choices when things don't turn out the way you want them to. And where in life has everything been so perfect? Where in life where no one gets sick in your family, no one contracts cancer, everything's perfect. That doesn't happen. And that's what just kind of irks me. Like, people will come on this call, but they don't show the plan to anybody. That's why I said, be careful. You can get your feelings hurt when I blast it out, because you will, because I'm going to convict you. Like, you're on this call. When was the last time you showed this plan to a brand new person? Did you do it last week? Well, I was at the event. Well, did you do it the week before? Well, no, I'm still trying to figure out. Well, how about the week before? No, I'm still like, what the hell are you doing on my call then? You're just wasting your time because I'm trying to teach you stuff and you don't put it into action. It's ridiculous to me. Ridiculous. I don't understand. I mean, please enlighten me. You're on this call, but you don't show the plan to anybody. Please enlighten me. I'm clueless. You think you have time. You think you have time. That's such a fallacy. So what's your assessment like this minute? Tell me the assessment of your business. I'm talking rhetorically in your mind. Where's your business at? Can you stop working? Like, if you got cancer and you couldn't work for your family and you had to be out for the next, 3 months, and you couldn't work for the next 3 months, what would your life be like? Mine would be fine. What would yours be like? Building a business is insurance on your income. But look, it's your family, it's not mine. I mean, if you got cancer and you couldn't work for the next 3 months, I'd be sad for you, right? Maybe your family would have to move in with your parents. Maybe you get foreclosed on your house. Maybe whatever. If that's okay with you, then that's cool. Don't build a business. I don't care. It doesn't hurt my family. I had something happen to me medically that made me think, I was kind of conjuring up different scenarios that maybe I have a brain tumor. What if I had a brain tumor and I die in the next 6 months? I'm not alive 6 months from now. What did I do to make sure my family's okay? I did a lot. Okay. So they're going to be just fine. But what did I do? Did I do enough to make enough of an impact on all of you and everyone on my team where it made enough of a difference that they started moving forward with what they needed to do? And one of the thoughts that came to my mind was, I'm so glad I started the Wednesday night call, the Wednesday night Zoom call on faith and virtues. We covered sowing the seed Wednesday night. And it was really kind of a brainstorm thing that happened that it really ended up being a great study for me on virtues and how to become good soil. And I think I did just send that video out. But I'm thankful that I've done 2 of them so far. I'm going to continue to do it because I've got some incredible things to share with you guys on the Wednesday calls. I think stuff that will get you thinking about your role, your role in life, things that will give you a little bit more meaning to why you're here. It's one of the biggest problems we have in this country is You don't know why you're here. You don't know what your purpose is. You don't know what you should be doing, right? And then you don't know God or you don't know his impact in your life. And you don't know how you fit into a different story, right? We're looking at the world through our own lens that we developed through our upbringing, through parents, through influences. And that lens tends to be tainted with world stuff, with junk, worldliness, right? And it's no wonder why we really are suffering. Like, I'll lay this one on you. Do you know that the life expectancy has gone down since 2018? Do you guys know that? Our life expectancy has actually gone down. And that hasn't happened. The last time that happened was 100 years ago, right? What would happen 100 years ago? World War One, the Spanish flu. Did you know the Spanish flu took out 50 million people? Now, remember, 100 years ago, the population was much smaller. So 50 million people in relative to the population was huge. But we have not experienced a decrease in life expectancy since then. Now, why is that? I mean, you should be wondering. I thought we live in the greatest nation in the world when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to technology. Why is that? Well, do you know that suicide has gone up 30% since 1989? Suicide. We call this the deaths of despair. Here's the one that will rock your world. Do you know between the ages of 10 and 14, suicide is the second leading cause of death? Did you guys know that? Jonathan, how old's Nora?
She's 5.
She's 5. Yeah, that's a scary number. The second leading cause of death, ages 10 to 14, that's that adolescent period. Why is that? Do you know that another cause of death, leading an increased cause of death is cirrhosis of the liver. How do you get cirrhosis of the liver? Alcohol. The age of suicides in people between ages 25 34 has tripled in the last 30 years, that are alcohol related. Here's one that'll rock your world. Do you know that the United States represents 5% of the world's population, but we consume 80% of all opioids that are produced? Africa does not have an opioid problem. Okay. With all the crap that's going on over there, civil war, and they don't have a suicide problem ages 10 to 14, like here. And so you got to wonder how broken our world is, how broken this world is. And it comes down to people not knowing why they're here. They don't know what their purpose is. And they literally don't know how they fit into God's plan because they don't know God. They don't have a relationship with Him. Anxiety and depression is just rampant, right? So what does this have to do with recruiting? Well, has everything to do with recruiting and building, because we got a story to tell. We got an opportunity to tell them a different story, right? We're all looking at the world through a different lens. It's all distorted. It's not righteous. It's a distorted lens that causes us to be caught up in the world of all this garbage that the enemy and the world is throwing at us that we're starting to believe. It's scary when you think about what we let our children do, especially when we give them phones. They're getting younger and younger as they're getting phones. They're getting access to worldliness. So this is probably really more for my Wednesday call, but this really has to do with recruiting and building because we can give people a different story. We give people hope. We can fix people that are broken like this by giving them hope, by giving them a story that they will understand, and they will understand why they're here, what their purpose is, and how they fit in to the salvation story, right? So over the next several weeks, I'll be talking really on my Wednesday night call. I'm going to answer 4 questions. Why is there something rather than nothing? Okay, what does that mean? Why are we here? God could not have created, could have decided not to create this world that we live in, but he decided to. We're going to talk about that. The second thing is, why is everything so messed up? All the stuff I talked about. Why is the world so broken? Why have we accelerated, And I think you probably agree is that we've put God off stage. We've taken him out of our lives and we live in this messed up world. It's much easier to live in a messed up world now or succumb to the messed up world. So why is everything so messed up? Here's the third question. What, if anything, has God done about it? If you believe in God, I mean, you should. I mean, really, you should because Satan believes in him. What, if anything, has God done about it? And then the fourth thing is, if he's done something about it, how should I respond to that? And why is that relevant to building a business? Is because yes, you want to build business to make money. You want to build business so you can have choices when things happen to you. When you can't make money and you still got the money rolling in every 3 times a week, like I do, not based on me selling. I mean, that's to me awesome. But now on the Wednesday night call, I'm going to give you context. I'm going to give context of why you should be going out there to help heal this broken world. Why you should go out there so you give people some hope instead of despair, where they got to turn to drugs and alcohol. They got to turn to suicide because they've lost their way, right? See, the problem that we're dealing with is that everyone is trying to row their own boat. You're trying to row your own boat the way that you want to row it. You're trying to control your life, thinking that you're in control and you're rowing your boat, right? Instead of getting into a boat, right, where you can put up a sail and use the power of the Holy Spirit, the power of God to propel you without you having to row. That's what I'm talking about. We're getting people into the sailboat. Everyone's rowing. They're not getting anywhere. They're broken. Their paddles are broken. They're frustrated. We're going to get them in this ship because our ship is propelled by the wind, by the Holy Spirit, by God. That's the ship we're trying to get them into. And that's why, among other reasons, we want to build a business. That's one of the reasons why I built a business, because I don't have much time. I'm 63. I'll be 64 in October. I don't have much time. I could be taken out tomorrow. I could have a brain tumor and be done. I'm done in 6 months. Right. You guys are young, younger than me, like Justin's, I think 20 something. You guys are young. So you think you still have a long life. My job is to really influence you. Number one, to go out there and let's recruit and fix broken lives by this opportunity we call the Alliance opportunity. And oh yeah, you're going to stabilize your financial situation. You're going to be able to make choices you didn't know you had when those choices are you're confronted with, right? You're going to have those things. You're going to, be free from freedom. You're going to be free from financial worry, right? But here's sort of the other thing that you're going to do when you start looking at your story as part of a larger story. Your story is part of a larger purpose. Your story is part of going out there and helping other people find their way back to what's going to fulfill them in their lives. You're going to get them off alcohol. You can get them off drugs. You can get them off pornography. You are going to be meaningful in their lives because you put them and charted them in the right way so they can find meaning. They 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 can heal. They can heal. And this seems like such an innocuous way to do it. Life insurance, estate planning, financial services. God doesn't care the theme. His church doesn't have to be a church. His plan of salvation doesn't have to come through any formalized religion. It comes from me creating a relationship with you and you creating a relationship with other people and you opening up through invitation ways to get people's minds right. You and I put too much pressure on ourselves. You don't have to convert people. You just have to invite them to opportunities to conversion, opportunities for healing, opportunities of fixing what's wrong with them by getting around people that have things that they're working on that's going in the right direction. You don't have to be the one. Just get them around the people, get them around the culture. Our culture is what will change people's minds. Our culture will be what heals people. Eventually, they're going to hear the gospel. Eventually, they're going to wonder, why are we so happy and joyous? Because I've got the secret that's not a secret, right? So I'm trying to figure out what my topic is. So I got to speak on the national boot camp. I got a topic. I had so many things running through my mind. Like one of them, I think I've told this on this line, how to build $1 million hierarchy with God as a partner. That would be a good one. I had so many things I could share, other things that have come. I mean, I have other things, but I think that, look, we have been put in a great position, whether you believe it or not, to influence people in such a positive way. They really do. I mean, get excited about that. That you get to be in an opportunity that you can impact people in a positive way, that you can get their lives right. And you know what? Even if they're with us for a short period of time, we've exposed them to right ways of thinking that they will, figure it out. Now, getting back to the joy and fear and worry, you know what, gang? When I've totally surrendered my life, I got my life back. That's a whole topic right there. And it's not surrendering to the alliance per se. Of course, I've done that, because my focus has been to be the alliance for other people and to invite people into the alliance and our culture. Okay. It's not a religion. The alliance is not, we don't worship Andy Albright, that's for sure. Okay. He's got his flaws, man, like I have my flaws, right? We edify Andy Albright, we don't deify him. He's messed up in so many ways, like I'm messed up in so many ways. But one thing for sure is that he's got a direction path that has helped so many people, right? And the 18-player steps is the way that we do that. Now, if we can expose people to that environment and culture through getting them to the National Boot Camp, we are going to thrive so much more. And when a business organization thrives, it becomes more attractive. So literally, we're going to be able to change lives by inviting people in. So 126. So I'm going to like this. I'm definitely keeping it to 30 minutes. So I would really exhort you, it's probably the best word I could use, exhort you to build the business. And how do you start by doing that? Come up with some foxhole buddies, like I forgot how Guerra put it, something that do or die buddies, ride or die. That's what he called ride or die buddies. The people that trust you, the people that think highly of you, the people you have credibility with, and let's approach them about the business. Either you could do it, and you can say, hey, I got a buddy. He's looking to, hire some people out here in New Jersey. And I thought about you. Are you open to making some additional income on the side, maybe potentially go full time? A lot of people are making money in it. It's financial services. Had you ever considered that? No, I haven't, but I'm interested. All right. Well, I can hook you up. My buddy Alex, he's got a large financial services business nationwide. He's interviewing right now. I can maybe hook you up for an interview. Okay. I'll give you a link where you can book him on my calendar. It's as simple as that. Or you could have people, I call it the chicken list, people that they're very sharp, but you feel uncomfortable calling them yourself. Then give me a list of people, your 10 top people, sharpest people and how you know them. And then I'll say, hey Joe, this is Alex. Your buddy Tripp had recommended I give you a call. Let me tell you why I'm calling. It says here that you're in Johnson City, Tennessee, and we happen to be looking for some people. I was talking to Tripp about that, and he said he knew a guy that he thought very highly of. And so that's the purpose of the call. Just wanted to reach out to you. But yeah, what we're doing, we're expanding some markets for Mutual of Omaha, AIG, and so forth. And we're looking for some people to help us do that. It has to do with sales in the financial services industry. I don't know if you've ever looked into it or open-minded to making some additional income on the side, but that's, the purpose of the call. Are you open-minded and looking? And no matter how you contact them, they either are looking, they'll say, yes, I am actually. They're talking about layoffs in my company and I just don't feel comfortable. I really hate what I'm doing. What are you guys doing? Okay. Or they can say, no, my plate's full. I'm really happy with where I'm at. Okay, cool. Rock on, man. I don't try to convince them. I'm just trying to find the first person. Or they could say, well, it depends on what it is, but I am open. Tell me more about it. Awesome. Let me just quickly go over it and I'll quickly go over it. That's simple. And maybe you're going to run into someone who's like a Mike and Noah Leventovich. I showed it to Noah Leventovich. And she got in and she started producing her first month of the business, January 2000. She produced a little over $10,000. So Noelle was on a leaderboard for the agency that we got started with. And the leaderboard had W. Leventovich. So W stands for Winoka, which is her first name. Noelle's her middle name. So it's W. Leventovich. So Mike Leventovich gets a call from the best man in his wedding. He goes, hey, and John Miller, he goes, hey, Mike, do you have a relative in the insurance business? He goes, well, why do you ask? Well, I'm part of an insurance agency and on the leaderboard, there's someone on the leaderboard with a name W. Leventovich. Leventovich is a very, unique name. He goes, well, that's Noel. There's a big silence on the line. He goes, W. He goes, yeah, that's her first name, Winoka. So how long have you guys been doing this? Who got you in the business? Well, my buddy Alex Abian. He showed Noel in November last year and he got us in the business. And he asked John, well, how long have you been in the agency? Well, since July. He goes, well, why didn't you call us about it? He goes, well, I just wanted to wait till I was successful. He goes, well, all right, no worries. And I've made well over 7 million. Actually, it's probably approaching more than that. Yeah, it's way more. It's probably Anyway, I've just made a lot of money with that organization. And I continue to make money every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I will continue to make money with that organization in the future. So, John Miller, that becomes minus. That becomes money he does not make and continues to not make. So, my positive is his negative. Can you imagine being a John Miller? Does that trip you out? Can you imagine being a John Miller? Anyway, don't be a John Miller. Okay. You got some people for me to talk to. I'll be happy to talk to them. I'll be happy to give them some level of credibility. And you know what? Maybe I won't like them. And I won't bring them on if I don't like them. If they're cussing their about their spouse, I don't want them on my team. Right. So give me a chance to help you build your team. Okay. And okay. So if you want to get more motivation on why you should build a business from, a different lens, plug into my Wednesday night call at 8:30, which I do on this line. And I'll talk more about the mechanics of building on this call on Fridays. But I wanted to just kind of give you a little bit of food for thought as to really why you ought to be building the business and a bigger purpose that will give you such motivation, right? And then what I really wish for you is to live a life free from worry. And I'm not talking about financial worry, free from worry in general, living a life of peace. I don't worry about anything. Why? Because I know who's in charge. I know who I've surrendered my will to, and I'm joyful about it, mega joyful about it every day. Does everything go right? Yes, everything goes right because that's God's plan and purpose. I don't worry about it. Everything is always going to go right for me, no matter what. So I don't worry. Can you imagine living a life not worrying about stuff? Well, that's easy for you to say, Alex, because bet me, man, bet me. The reason why I have the business I have is I learned to deal with bigger ass problems than you'd ever even think about encountering. But I don't care. I don't worry about it. It's so awesome. I would want that for you, right? How not to worry, how not to have anxiety and fear. It's such a joyous way to live. And the only way I can teach you that is on my Wednesday night call, how to get that, how to achieve that. It took me a long time. It took me over 60 years to figure it out. I would want you to find out about it and learn about that way before I did. But thank the Lord I did. So anyway, again, I appreciate y'all being on this call. I hope I imparted some level of motivation for you to do something with this knowledge, right? Not to just, let me throw pearl to swine, right? But that you're going to do something with this and actually go out and show the plan to someone, right? Like share the business. If you want to know ways to do it, get with me, book time with me. There's so many cool ways to source people. You're going to find great people if you have a diligent plan to go out there and do it. So anyway, thanks everybody. Appreciate your time. Let's rock and roll. Have a great weekend.